Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to the webinar series of C 2.0. And today with us, we have Mr. Rajeev Nambiar, who is the National Director of Art of Living Foundation. And today he'll be sharing his views and thoughts on the topic of cultivating a Sattvik mind. I welcome you, sir. I request you to start the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anshi. Hello, everybody. So now the first point is, how do I know that all of you all exist on the screen? These are just names on the screen with no faces. Okay, hello, Yuvraj. Hi, Hemant. Hi, Purnima. Hi, Prashant.
Good
So is
afternoon, sir.
good afternoon, yeah. So how do you make your presence felt? So either you show yourself up or you acknowledge in some way, right? Otherwise, it's like me talking to a blank screen. Yeah, Ayushi, Bitham, Pranshi, Rupa, Madhwan, are you there? Anshita, Akshita.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, Rupa. So usually when I give a session, I always prefer an interactive session. I don't believe in giving a lecture and another person hearing. So that is why I would like to know if all of you are there. Because the topic that we are talking about uh, is quite an in-depth of a subject, and it doesn't make any sense for me to go into depth of it without knowing whether you are there with me, or you are even understanding what I'm talking about. So what do we do? How do we go about? Yeah, anybody? Yuvraj, you can talk for yourself. The rest I don't know. Okay. Uh, Only if we have an interactive session can this really transform into something useful to for everybody. Otherwise, it will just be me talking about something without really getting a response for me to take things forward. So are you ready to respond to some of the things to allow me to take this forward in an interactive way? Okay. Okay, Prashant. Okay, Hemant. Okay. So I will start with a few questions. I've kept my chat box on for me to figure out what you're saying. So when you say cultivating a sattvic mind, what does sattva mean to you? Yeah, anybody? What does sattva mean to you? Okay, pure, clean, purity. All right. What else?
So pure vegetarian, not derived from animal.
Okay, that is in terms of food. Okay. All right. Okay. What else? Positivity, spiritual. All right. So if there is something called sattva, is there an opposite of that? Serenity. All right. If there is something called sattva, is tamas opposite of sattva? Okay. Okay, there is something called rajas also. Then where does it stand? Right? You know that there are three constituents. One is sattva, second is rajas, and third is tamas. So where does, if you say tamas is the opposite of sattva, where does rajas stand? Okay, in between. Okay, neither good nor bad. Okay, okay. What else? Is it an understanding that you have when you say in between, or you are just saying, okay, it could be in between? Tamas and Rajas are opposite both. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? This entire world is made up of five elements. And these five elements, you know the five elements, right? Everybody knows the five elements. What are the five elements? Yeah, the entire world is made up of five elements. What are these five elements? Okay, earth, water, space, earth, fire. And what else? You're missing something. Okay, air, ether. Okay, okay. So these five elements have three qualities. One is sattva, second is rajas, and third is tamas. At any given point of time, one of these qualities dominate in our life and the environment. Do you know what happens when sattva dominates in life? In terms of our emotion, in terms of our feeling, what do you feel when sattva dominates in our life? Yeah, anybody? Positivity. Okay. When sattva is dominant in our life, in our body and the environment, we feel light, happy, pleasant, joyful, awake, alert, and have a clear perception of things. On the contrary, when rajas or rajoguna, because when you take it in terms of gunas, the three gunas, so sattva, rajas, and tamas, when you categorize as three guna, it is called satoguna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. Okay, and when rajoguna is dominant in our lives, we experience a lot of thoughts, restlessness, too many desires. Sometimes you can be very happy, sometimes you can be very sad. So this is what happens when Rajoguna dominates your life. What happens when Tamoguna dominates your life? Or the Tamas? What does Tamas stand for? Lazy, okay. Tamas means if Sattva is purity and serenity and calmness and all those things, instability, anger. Anger is usually more of Rajas, ego, negativity. It's basically the state of inertia, when you just are in an inert state. So, what happens when that guna or that quality dominates in your life? We usually experience delusion, a wrong understanding, or a dullness in life. So this is primarily what these three qualities that we see as three gunas that are prevalent in our body and the surrounding and the environment, and in the five elements too. And these three gunas can also be, because it is there in the five elements, these three gunas are also present in our food. So that is why we have Sattvik food, Rajasic food, and Tamasic food. So what is Sattvik food? Now this is something your subject. So you know what Sattvik food is. I would like to know what Rajasic food is from you and what is Tamasic foods. Do you have an understanding of that? Anybody? What kinds of food are categorized as Sattvik? What is Tamasic and what is Rajasic? Vegetarian is Sattvik, okay. Vegetarian, whole grain and pulses, okay. Purnima. Non-veg is tamasic, okay. Okay, and what are rajasic foods? Onion, garlic is rajasic, okay. Nuts, seeds, fruits. So anything that is freshly grown, locally grown, which is not kept stale for a long time and staying just freshly cooked, they're all sattvic foods. No, rajasic foods are too much of fried, too much of spices. See, because Rajas generally creates some restlessness in us, some movement in us. So that is why when you see people who sometimes they cannot even sit comfortably, they'll be like moving their hands, shaking their legs. They will be not stable at one place. That is because Rajas in their body is dominant. And when we eat those kind of food, it increases the Rajas further. So the your gunas has a correlation with the food that you eat as well. And then you have tamasic food. Tamasic foods are too much of red meat, food that makes you completely inert and dull. Even after eating that food, you might feel not feel very full and complete. There is a sense of inertia and dullness. Now that you have understood what sattva, rajas, and tamas as a guna is, and now how the food is categorized, you know, even our mind, which is subtler than uh, the body and the breath, they also have quality of rajas, tamas, and sattva. Even our attitude and action can be sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. So when sattva dominates our life, rajas and tamas will stay in the background, and their effect on our life is minimal. When rajas dominates our life, sattva and tamas goes in the background. So whichever dominates, the other two go in the background. When tamas dominates, sattva and rajas go in their background, or their effect is minimal. And we balance these three gunas through the practice of yoga, meditation, and silence. There is a. So, what is the purpose of even raising the sattva in a body? What is the purpose of doing all this? Why do you want sattva? Why do you want to raise the sattva? Anybody? Why do you want to raise sattva?
So maybe for mentally very balanced, if you want to be.
Okay, to improve the quality of life. Okay, all right. All
Yes.
right, Anshi. Okay. What else? Positive energy for live a clean and healthy life. Okay, all right. So it is clear to everybody that we want to increase sattva in our life, right? Usually what happens is a person is in deep slumber, hmm, or is in deep sleep. Either one, even while they are awake, they are dreaming. So very rarely do we really have such clarity of mind. The clarity of mind comes from sattva. It increases the awareness. It awakens and kindles something in you. So usually there is very little happiness or very little enthusiasm because there is less of sattva in life. So the paranayam, the sudarshan kriya, the meditation techniques, listening to even knowledge increases sattva. That is why the importance of living a sattvic life is there. When sattva becomes more, then there is knowledge, there is alertness, there is awareness, and there is joy in life. All of these come with sattva. That is why we aim to get more sattva in life. And with rajas, because rajas is all about movement, sorrow and misery comes out of rajas, and delusion and dullness comes out of tamas. When somebody is regretful or sad, which means rajas has increased. So when you look at everybody in terms of not the person sitting there, in terms of the guna, sattva, rajas, and samas, then you feel compassion. You don't feel anger towards that person. You feel, oh, this is maybe this guna in their life is dominant. That is why this person is behaving in a particular way. So if someone's tamoguna is increased, then they are deluded and have a wrong understanding of him. Sometimes even when you try to reason out things to them, they still will not get it. All sorts of doubts will pop up in their mind. And when rajas increases in life, people become very restless. They cannot sit in one place, they cannot focus on one thing, they cannot have concentration. Many desires keep coming to them. They want to do 100 things but end up doing nothing. Only when sattva is increased in life, that you are so bright, so much of love, you want to serve, there is, you are compassionate about things, then you don't sit to judge other people. All these things come because of sattva in life. And these periods change. It's not like that. It's not that you will, if you eat sattvic food, you live in a sattvic environment, if you meditate, you always be in sattva. No, there will be moments when these periods keep changing and some or the other will keep dominating. But having the knowledge of these three types will help us to alter our lifestyles. Okay, when you think that tamas is increased, so then now you will start looking at food and saying, oh, maybe these foods are causing, let me look at this food and not have these kinds of food. Let me have more sattvic food. You know, even in knowledge, there are three types. You know, when everything seems like, one sense, one being, one consciousness, I don't feel a difference with the other person, there is compassion. That is sattvic knowledge. Rajasic knowledge is attributing different things to different people. Oh, that person thinks like that, that person is like this, this is good, that these are the right people, that is wrong people, that all this is rajas, which creates all this differentiation. You know? Tamasic knowledge is completely understanding everything in a wrong manner. Whatever is there, you are completely deluded. People who commit crimes, who are violent, who want to destroy others, where they see even human beings like chickens and small creatures and whatever, that is tamas. The inability to perceive things as they are, the wrong understanding. So that is why the understanding of the gunas is very important. And all of these things, you can also see any of these qualities dominant in you from time to time. You know what happens when someone blames or praises you? Just observe what happens in your body. Anybody? When somebody praises you, what happens? Or when somebody blames you, what happens? What is the physiological change that happens in your body? Yeah, anybody?
Praises us and we get demotivated when
You get
someone tries
demotivated.
to pull.
Okay, what else happens?
Uh,
Rajiv,
uh,
Rajiv sir, sorry to interrupt. We are joined by Abhishek sir. He also joined. Welcome, Abhishek sir.
Good afternoon, Abhijek sir.
Good afternoon, Rajiv. How are you?
Very well, thank you so much.
I would just uh, thank you. Just let me open the camera properly. Yeah. So I was in a meeting. I'm so sorry. I was.
And that's
Yeah.
absolutely fine, sir. Absolutely fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming for this session, Rajiv, and we look forward more of these sessions from you in future. I think the students today are really lucky to have you on board, and they will. I think probably they can just take whatever knowledge they can from you for the time you've given us, and we look forward for the seventh event in Delhi, where we sign the entire thing, and then probably it goes official with AOL and Sasttvik.
Sure.
Thank you so much again for coming for joining this session, and probably please carry on. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Abhishek
students.
ji.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So we always understood Sattvik, Rajasic, Tamasic in terms of food, right? Simple things. Now today I've given you different dimension of Sattvik, Rajasic, Tamas. Whether it is the gunas, whether it is the knowledge, whether it is the mind. You know? So what is it? What happens? So my question to you is, what happens at a physiological level when somebody blames or praises you? What happens? Because we have all experienced, somebody must have blamed you at some point of time, somebody must have praised you at some point of time. What happens? See, if you have to get something out of me, you will have to reply so that I can get into
so disappointment if
disappointment. Okay.
someone blames and we don't feel like working. We always feel negative inside. We always to compare. We start comparing with each others from others,
Hmm.
and uh, and when someone praises us, we feel confidence. We feel confidence. We more challenges we like to accept.
Hmm. Okay. Henceforth, when something like this happens, when somebody blames or praises you, just observe what happens. You know, if you look at what happens deep inside you is negativity, doubts, self-doubt, not feeling good, ego getting pushed a bit, all those happens. But what happens at a physiological level is very interesting.
And so, just one more point. Even sometimes we throw our frustrations on our family also.
Okay. Somebody says something wrong to you, you may not be in a position to reply to them, then you put or fall your negativity on someone else as well. Okay. No, just observe what happens. You know, when somebody praises or blames you, just observe your breath. What happens deep inside you? If someone gives you a compliment, it doesn't become a part of your breath. Yeah, you are just happy and it doesn't change, alter your breath. But when someone insults you, your breath starts burning. Your heart gets filled with anger and remorse. No, there is some movement in the breath. Just observe next time. No, generally people get stuck in negativity and unpleasantness rather than people. If somebody tells you 10 good things and tells you one bad thing, you will remember the unpleasant or the bad thing for many many years in life. That is the nature of the mind. And when the mind is stuck in negativity, lot of doubts come. So how do you change all this? How does something like this, somebody says something, and how does it change a pattern in the breath? That is very interesting. The breath has so many secrets to offer. That is where yoga and meditation comes into present. There is a deep connection between the breath and the emotions. When you are angry, your breath has a certain rhythm. When you are upset, your breath has another rhythm. When you are jealous or depressed, it has another rhythm. You need to be aware of all this. Only then you can make those changes. And you need to be aware how, through the rhythm of the breath, you can handle your emotions and your mind. You just have to keep a very simple, open mind to it, and things will happen. Breath has its own rhythm. Every mood of the mind has a definite rhythm in the breath. By attending to these rhythms of the breath, the mind and the body can be elevated. I have come to just tell you that breath has so much secret to offer, and just all these emotions can be altered just by way of breath and meditation. If you look at it, how is the rhythm of your breath when you are happy? If you observe, it's the incoming breath is longer. You will have long incoming breath when you're generally happy. When you are angry, the breath is hot and it is fast. And when you are fearful, have you seen a shaky breath? Your breath is shaky. And when you're depressed or you're sick, you have a long outgoing breath. So when you're angry, the breath raises faster. But as children, many of our parents or grandparents have told us, when you're angry, count down from 10. You know, when you say your breath is raising fast, and you say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, suddenly you feel that all that anger and frustration that you wanted to pour on somebody else, that is suddenly mellowed down. How did that happen? That counting down of 10 altered the breath. The moment the breath is altered, the rhythm of the breath is altered, that emotion also transformed. That is the importance of breath. That is how powerful this breath is. Yeah. You want to see a small technique of the breath. What is the problem here is neither in school or in college or in any of our education, we have been told how to deal with the mind. Everybody says mind management, take care of the mind. When you get stressed, what happens? What to do? Nobody gives you solution. They only say don't get stressed. What do you think stress is? What is your understanding of stress?
Overload.
Very good. Overload. What else? Pressure. Tension. Okay, that's another word for stress. Tension is another word. Don't replace one word with another word. So what happens? You feel overloaded. That's a good example. So you feel a lot of emotional and physical baggage. Okay. In Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar, who founded the Art of Living Foundation, he gives a very simple explanation to this. He says, too much to do, too little time, and lack of energy. Too much to do is not going to change in any of our lives. Is our workload going to reduce? In our life, is our workload going to reduce?
No,
Yeah, it's not going to reduce. Too little time. Isn't time constant for everybody or same for everybody?
Yes.
Yeah. So time is also same for everybody. You can't change anything about too much to do. You can't help it in this time. You can't even change about um, too little time also, because time is same for everyone. Third thing that can be altered is lack of energy. Energy can be improved by way of breath. One. Energy can be improved by way of, there are four sources of energy. Anybody wants to say what are the four sources of energy? How do you get energy from? There are four sources. No? Okay, earth. Okay, earth gives us food. So food is the first source of energy. Second, sun moon gets transformed into food, whatever, water, everything is the same. Okay, I'll put it as one category, food. Second is, second important source of energy is sleep. If you don't sleep for a couple of days, how do you feel? You feel dull, you feel tired. Yeah, and she want to say something. you know First source of energy is food. Second is sleep. Right amount of sleep, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and the right time of sleep, following a circadian rhythm of sleep. You know, everybody goes to sleep, not sleeping at 3 a.m. in the morning and getting up at 10 o'clock, but the right time to sleep. Third is breath. Breath is an important source of energy. We'll do a small process to see how breath is an important source of energy. And the fourth is a calm and meditative mind. So these are the four sources of energy. So now how do we improve these with breath is something that I want to talk about. Nobody, like I said earlier, nobody has ever taught us how to deal with the mind. But I just mentioned some time back that the emotion can be controlled by way of breath. You cannot control the mind at the level of the mind, but you can do it by way of breath. When you are angry, change the pattern of the breath and the anger reduces. Yeah. So we'll do a couple of small techniques and see how we are feeling. Observe the state of your mind right now. Just observe the state of your mind. So in this breathing technique, as though we have a straw in our mouth, you are going to breathe in through the nostrils and blow through the straw, blow out through the straw. Am I clear? Have you seen children when you give them a glass of juice or something like that, they instead of sucking inside, they blow? So you'll take breath through the nostril and blow through the straw. And the breathing out should be as long and slow as possible. Can we do that? Yeah. I'll give instructions. Just do it. You can do it with your eyes closed for a few times, and then we will discuss. Breathe in. As you breathe out, blow into the straw. Breathe in again. Once again, breathe in. Now continue at your own pace for a few more times. Keep your eyes closed. Relax. Relax completely. Take a normal breath in and breathe out. Slowly open your eyes. Now you can tell me how did you feel? Yeah, go ahead, Yuvraj. Yeah, Yuvraj, you can speak if you have raised your hand. Okay, Hemant says calm and emptiness. That's nice. Just a few breaths and
Relaxed.
relaxed. Okay, all right.
Relaxed.
Okay, most of you are feeling much relaxed. Okay. Just a few breaths. Nothing is difficult here. Just a few breaths, and suddenly there is so much calmness and so much soothing. That's all it takes. Whenever you get into a space like this, you can find some time to just do this breathing, small, simple breathing technique, and you will immediately see the shift in your consciousness, shift in the way you are feeling.
So it must be just a temporary, it's a temporary
What is
when
that?
you are anger or so maybe it is just for
You're breaking up, Yuvraj. What did you say? Is it
aggregate and if you
temporary?
do this.
You said, is it
Yes,
temporary?
sir. It's is it
So
a total thing
initially,
that is it a temporary nature like yes.
initially you might have to meditate for much longer, to feel it to be staying for longer time. But as you keep doing it, as you get rid of all this negativity in your mind over a period of time, then it can stay for much longer. You know, so if you throw a stone in water, there are going to be ripples on the top of the water, right? But deep
Yes.
inside, the water is very calm. So that state of mind is possible. So this is just to give you a trailer, a glimpse of the possibility of state of mind. At the Art of Living, we teach all these techniques, meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, these breathing techniques, which you can practice daily by like 10, 15 minutes in a day, and then you're able to keep that poise, that state of mind for most times of the day. Yeah. So now, do you know what meditation is? Anybody? Because I talked about meditation. What do you think meditation is? Or you want to do a small
ध्यान
meditation
ध्यान
and yeah,
किसी चीज पे फोकस करना, फोकस ध्यान
किसी चीज
लगाना.
पे फोकस करना हो ध्यान है, ठीक है, ठीक है। और एक्चुअली क्या है ना, ध्यान जो है फोकस करना नहीं है, फोकस ध्यान की वजह से बढ़ता है। Concentration is an outcome of meditation. Concentration is not meditation. Yeah. So I'll tell you a very simple explanation that Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar gives for this. He says meditation is the art of doing nothing. So for the next 5-7 minutes, can you just do nothing? कर सकते हो? I'll give you simple instructions. Just follow the instruction in a very light manner. किसी ने आपको एक फूल ला के दिया तो आप उसका खुशबू कैसा सूंघोगे? एकदम हल्के से, right? You're not going to break the flower and breathe in rigorously the flower, right? You're just going to have a gentle. So like that, whatever instructions I am giving, just in a very light manner, take the instruction and then drop it. Yeah. If I say take your attention to the head, you don't have to touch and see if your head is not there or not. You just have to take your attention to the head and then drop it. Don't have to keep the attention there also. Can we do it? Yeah? Yes? Okay. So let's do a short meditation. Let's close our eyes. आंखें बंद. एक लंबी गहरी श्वास ले. Take a long deep breath in and breathe out. One more long deep breath in and exhale completely. Now take your attention to all the noises in the environment. The sound of the fan, maybe the sound honking of the vehicles on the road, the sound of the AC in your room, somebody talking in the background. Take your attention to all the noises in the surrounding. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Just a gentle attention to all the noises in the surrounding. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. Now you are in harmony with all the sounds and noises in your environment. Now take your attention to your body. Take your attention to the right foot, right knee, right thigh and hip, left foot, left knee, left thigh, left hip, genitals, abdomen, stomach, chest, shoulders, right hand, right arm, left arm, neck, throat, face, the back of your head, the top of your head. This body is a beautiful gift given to you by God or nature. Honor and respect this body. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Now gently become aware of your thoughts. Good thoughts or bad thoughts, let it come. Do not resist any thoughts. Just be a witness. Now you are one with your thoughts. Take a deep breath in and let go. Become aware of your feelings. You are peace. You are joy. Become aware of your feelings. Become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of your body and environment. Take a deep breath in and let go. Om Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gradually, at your own pace, whenever you feel like, taking your own time, you may open your eyes. So, how is everyone? How's your state of mind? Yeah, how is everyone? Still unclear, okay. This is the quality of a Sattvik mind. Even if it is for a short period of time, right now, which can be developed over a long period of time. This is the Sattvik mind. We can talk at length about it, but having an experience of it is a different thing. Yeah. So you have any questions? We have 5 minutes to take up the questions and then we can move forward. Yeah. Any
So one
questions?
question from my side, sir.
Yeah.
If Sattva is good and Tamas is bad, then what we actually say Rajas is. So is Rajas is good or a bad? So generally it's like good or bad. So what if a person is of Rajas? So like we should accept or not, or is really Rajas is also a bad? So I'm a bit confused about Rajas.
All the gunas are there in the 5 elements, it is there in the environment, and it is there in you. And each of it will be there. You cannot be only in sattva. If you are only in sattva, without tamas, some amount of tamas, you can't even sleep.
Very
For
true.
you to get sleep, you have to get some tamas. Without rajas in the body, you cannot move yourself into some activity. So rajas is also required, tamas is also required. But keeping that sattvic state of mind as much as possible, the balance is required. Balancing the sattva, raja, and tamo guna,
So
they are
how a
all
person
existent.
can so how a person can come to know whether which is more right now, like whether the tamas is more inside him or whether the rajas is more or sattva. So how he can uh, know and then he can balance it.
So I told you at the beginning, when sattva is dominant, what happens? You feel happy, light, joyful, pleasant, alert, awake, and you have a clear perception. All of it is there, so sattva is more dominant. When rajas is more dominant, you have restlessness and you have too many desires, and you work in extreme. Either you are very happy or you are very sad. When tamoguna is dominating in your life, you are deluded. There is delusion. There is a wrong understanding. There is dullness. When you know these things are happening, then you know which is more dominant. And with meditation, with food, with the right kind of knowledge and with the right kind of thoughts, you can alter these things. Now you know it. Yeah.
So like let's say that in case of I want to achieve something and desire should be high. Okay, so is it good or bad? Should do. I shouldn't go for that.
Yuvraj, your question is not clear to me. What was that?
Uh, this is said it, it is being a human being, every person wants have some kind of a desires. Okay, maybe it's let's say I have I need to go
Yuvraj, can you
to
type
get
your
to a
question on the
moment.
chat because you're breaking up? I don't know whether it is my network or yours, but you're breaking up. Can you type your question in the chat? I have a fair understanding of your question. He says that, is it not good to have too many desires? Yeah, desires are
Yeah,
going to come.
exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Desires are going to come. But I'm not saying that as human beings you will not have desires. You will definitely have desires. But having too many desires means you will not end up completing any of your desires. You will not even reach an end goal with all of them. You will just flip from one. Today you decide to do this thing. Tomorrow you will go into this. The day after tomorrow you will go into do. Finally, everything remains incomplete. That is why a sattvic mind is required, so that you have one particular ambition, one desire, one goal to do. You focus on that first, reach it to a culmination, and then go on to the next and to the next, because desires are going to come. You know, so desire
Understood.
fulfilled or
Understood.
unfulfilled will leave you at the same place as you were before that desire arose in you. Because the moment one fulfilled, another comes, another fulfilled, another comes. It's like you keep, when you were in school, you said, when I go to college, I'll be happy. When you reach college, you will say, when I get a job, I'll be happy. You just keep changing goalposts. This is a part of human evolution. But having an awareness of that and living life with that awareness will change the quality of your life.
Understood, sir.
Make sense? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else has anything to say, anything to ask?
Dear
So one more
students,
question.
yeah, please go ahead.
How to this meditation? Can I put it into my regular uh, schedule? Is it like any or you could just tell me about this?
See, meditation should become a part of everybody's life, whether it is 15 minutes, 20 minutes in a day, morning a little bit time, evening a little bit time, because it improves the quality of the life for the rest of the 24 hours. If it is half an hour of meditation, you're 23 and a half hours in your life, the quality of your life improves. That is why meditation is important. If I say that do only in the morning, you will not end up doing. It's better that you find some time to be by yourself. Even just putting a light music and closing your eyes and sitting, that is also good. Do whatever it takes for you to go a little inwards and taking yourself off from the regular things. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Any
Dear
more
students,
questions?
we are still open for the question and answer round. Is there anyone else who wants to ask a question?
Thank you, Hemant. Yeah. Any other questions?
So I believe there are no more questions.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you
I
so
will.
much. It was wonderful being with all of you and hope to stay in touch with you and meet you all again. Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir, for
Bye.
joining
Thank
us
you.
today. It was indeed a very enlightening and a knowledgeable session. In fact, the activities that we performed, we have just learned them, and I hope every one of us will perform them on a daily basis. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for.
Anshi.
Thank you so much for. We are very grateful for your time and values that you shared with us.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Anshi.
much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.
I'll end the meeting.
Yes,
Thank you all.
please. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Good luck to you.